birthday. You know what? Even though she's writing on Christmas, she got a whole.
Okay, now whatever we're doing is going on the thing. People who would like to join, they will join. We can.
Oh, from you.
No. Oh, Bernadette.
You know, I almost gave it to her that day of the meeting.
Thank God that you didn't.
I almost.
Hello, Bernadette.
Thank God that no one gave me.
Hi, Bernadette.
She made me feel bad. Last December, she got a whole binto bag of cornflakes. You know that binto thing? She got. So I said, with this time.
No. See, that was for Tambo. Now that one was going to be for me. I'm also a mother, a human being.
Let's say that it's for warriors.
No. I wanted to get it. Don't worry. Don't worry, I'm just joking.
Sorry, let me have my friend. So I was saying that I did a lot of research this week. I spent a lot of time reading about.
Okay, let's do first the agenda.
Okay.
I'll share it for you. Chileshe.
I'll share it here also on the group.
Yes.
As we are talking.
People can join if they want. They can join on YouTube, and they can be typing, or they can join inside the link. When you're inside the link, you're inside.
Hi. We are there. Are you recording?
It's also that's the beauty.
Oh.
It's
just show the people that are here, and then you start.
You can also say.
Yeah. Today is 12 already, huh?
You are the moderator, Mrs. Monica.
Okay, I will moderate.
Or chair?
Chair.
Okay.
Yeah, chair, moderator.
Yeah.
Bernadette was inside. She's gone out again.
Maybe tonight. I'm sure maybe next week. I'm sure she'll be there.
Oh no, here join Starlink. Join Starlink.
Oh,
yeah, join.
Starlink here.
Yes.
Is that possible?
No, there's no password. Just join it.
Okay.
Because the students use it.
She can't have it's not connected. I don't know what's happened. My place is always connected. For us, almost everything doesn't work. Only liquid. So my sister doesn't. She's not far from me, so she's trying. Darling.
Hello, Bernadette.
So how do I join?
Just click on it. On what? How are you? Are you in your blanket? Are you in your blanket?
Yes.
That's cool. As long as you're here. Okay. You don't want to show you your face.
I'll show it later.
Okay. Ati?
If Dr. Rex comes, it's okay. I can go with you because we want to. But you are going. What time are you supposed to go?
Oh, my appointment is at 14.
Okay.
So
good.
no problem.
Would like to just to chat on something.
Okay, no problem. Yes. Mhm.
I don't want member to go when we haven't touched a lot of it.
So, but I think
And here it's near. You don't have to. Here it's near. They are,
that is 70.
yes, you just go like
So
this.
not 10:45.
I don't want to miss my appointment. You know that I'm supposed to be at Mateo. Dr. Chunda is sending a team from there. And she literally was like, Limba, you're going to miss me that time. Unfortunately, I'm really going to. So I was supposed to start with Mateo. Then go to.
So you want to pass through
No, I
Mateo?
can't.
Yeah, then you start off at
Okay, come here and say your things.
The traffic is.
Come.
No.
Joanna, can I have my cable?
You manage.
Traffic.
70
trucks.
is
Other trucks, they are busy. So I really don't want to be late.
No, here you won't be late.
You won't, yeah. That's what
Because
I'm
it's
thinking. It's a straightforward route.
yes.
Hello, our prime Tuesday,
It's a lunch hour. Really?
It's a lunch hour.
Prime TV never starts on time.
That's not good.
It's not good for it's not. You find
That's bad
that-
reputation.
Yeah.
Well, that time we went to with the lady. What's her name?
Oh, this is so organized.
That's I think I think I'm the one who even organized
Yes.
I know. Mandy,
No, see, that one warrior. That one for my age. What does that mean?
You leave your contributions. What is the agenda?
I thought you were saying the agenda.
Oh, agenda is the introduction of why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Why we're here, and then the best way forward
Yeah.
of how we think that a national association is going to make things better for us. And we have heard that Cynthia has done some research, and so we will be able to be guided through that. But meantime, why are we here?
Definitely to change the face of sickle cell disease.
Okay.
Also, because we want to be united with one voice, right? So we have examples from other institutions, hemophilia, BP. They all have a one body association where all organizations report to. Same with HIV. So that is what we're trying to do also for sickle cell, because for a long time, sickle cell hasn't really had a body that represents sickle cell. You know, there has to be somebody who will fall as an umbrella.
Mhm.
Yeah. Of course, right now we are falling under Dr. Chunda UTH, use the word lead. But I think we really do need our own association so that even when all these organizations are coming up, we know that we have got one body. And the other advantage of having such a body is that even if life happens for these organizations, right, it will remain like a trust, whereby the organization will go on generation to generation to generation. Because obviously people will keep jumping on board with organizations and ideas and all that. So the whole idea is really to make it last generation and generation. Mhm. Thank you.
Okay, so if we have to, because we are going to leave, so would like you to actually just say some pointers so that as she is speaking, you can just get what she's speaking, but you who is going, you can be able to, and actually you can continue joining.
Oh
You
yeah,
can-
I'll
you
join.
can-
I'll
you can-
definitely join. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the key pointers is really first of all getting a team together. Yeah, those with, like you say always, with a mindset of succeeding. You know, if you're gonna go into this with all that, with a mindset of not making this work out, it will not work out. So the first thing is the mindset. Do we all want to do this? Are we on board? Are we all on board? Is this doable? Is this workable? You know, so first of all, we need to go in with a positive mindset to say, if it has worked for other associations, why not for us? It will work out. We may have stumbling blocks, we may have find ourselves with bumps, but it will work out. Then secondly, registration has to take place, definitely. In that we have to have our own MOU with the Ministry of Health and of course the organization, so that even when Ministry of Health gets to the level where they start funding sickle cell disease, the body will be the one to represent all of us under the umbrella. And then team building, team players, I think let's move as one. Let's move as one. Of course, we come from different backgrounds and characters are different and our beliefs and thoughts are different. But I think at the end of the day, it's about making one voice, one movement so that we can move towards this goal.
That is so good. Even like what is for me, even like what is happening where she was there, Dr. Sawa today is there, you are going to go there.
Yeah.
Only one was going to be enough, where now everyone is pouring in and saying, what is it that we're doing? How can we do this? Oh, we are this. And, even the people that are there listening, they even support is easy because like I would know someone at a place and me, I would be looking for, like they can sponsor us this. Then you have already gone there and you've asked for 10 pin. So that's it. And when you say, but you said this is what it is, this is what we're going to do. And so it actually, and it only becomes busy in June when, so many other things are happening. But if we are, from day one, we are able to, to get the things that are going, then it is going to
Actually
be
from
good.
January.
Yes,
This really needs
because
to-
we
Yeah.
put it as an activity. And
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, for sure.
you can either join in on the YouTube or inside the thing.
Lovely.
Okay,
Wanza,
all
come and
right.
speak.
Or Cynthia.
Cynthia, okay.
Okay, so for me, I decided, so let me create some space here. So for me, I decided to approach this with doing some research, just to find out, to consider like looking at what maybe we can learn from others, like you're saying, Rimba, who has succeeded and so forth. So I thought we tackle this from a perspective of looking at looking at some of the issues. So first thing I wanted to say is I decided to do a comparison of MOH response to the common diseases, malaria, HIV, and TB, compared to sickle cell. I thought that would be a good starting point, okay? So, obviously, the big difference is disease prevalence, the burden of the disease. If we look at malaria, it's very high, one of the highest in the country. HIV is ranked moderate to high, TB moderate. Sickle cell is low because it's less than 2%, okay? So that's one thing we need to just keep in our minds, that we're dealing with a slightly different situation than perhaps other diseases. So when we say we have got other disease areas have done this, I think it's important to look at it like, even like looking at facts and statistics, than to just simply think, oh, let's do a copy and paste, okay? The other thing I noticed is, what is MOH response to these 4 diseases? So we've got the 4: malaria, TB, HIV, TB, and sickle cell, right? So we know, like we've said, with where we see high disease burden, we also see a well-established national program, so MOH, and we're also seeing strong donor support and very high visibility, so everybody knows. And it's also like got, it's given that national priority status, eh? And there's high political will as well. And we see that with the other programs as well, like I was saying, for higher disease burden. But with sickle cell, we've seen that there's a minimal structured policy environment. The care is patchy, it's not uniform across the country. The other thing, we have very low visibility, and we have very low, like in terms of prioritization in comparison to these other diseases, okay? So I'm not gonna say we have no visibility, I'll just say it's lower, okay? So the advantages of an umbrella organization, I guess, it's fine. It will give us a stronger voice, will be more unified and perhaps more visibility. Resources we've spoken about, not just financial, but human and technical. We could have, more, use our resources more effectively. Then perhaps sharing best practices, so we could learn a lot more from one another. And hopefully it can help us to work better with the government. But I think it's also important to look at the negative side. And I'm going to stop when I raise these points, because I think beyond just saying, oh, let's have a positive mindset, I think also, for me, I think there's an aspect of being realistic as well. I think, like I said, I did my research, but I agree with this, that I think we've got a problem. We are fragmented. And showing even from the groups that were invited, some decided they did not want to participate in this. So we are fragmented and we have different priorities. I'm concerned about internal power struggles. My concern is that MOH has not prioritized sickle cell the way it needs to. We do not have, I think, the necessary policies and structures in place, health systems are not in place that are going to help us thrive. So it'll be very difficult even to get the momentum we need to get going without government's buy-in or government support. Like, in short, I'm saying we need to be moving at the same pace. We can't jump ahead when the government is not moving. Then we have to be realistic about the fact that we are not funded. We have got really constrained when it comes to funding. And we do not have solid backing from the Ministry of Health. And I think there's over dependency on volunteers. Volunteers, you do get some burnout, or you do get these conflicts where people have other things they need to do and they cannot participate in meetings like this, because you expect people to come here using their own resources. So those are some of the things I wrote. Then the last one I just want to say is we need to be careful as well with these comparisons, because HIV, for example, when we look at a body like NAC, I did quite a lot of research. I looked at even different areas. I looked at LAS, I looked at Zaki, I looked at comparisons just to see how other people are operating. A lot of these have got a legal framework and legal backing. A number of them are statutory bodies. A number of them, they are in our constitution. Look at LAS. So these are some of the things I think we need to consider as we're going forward. Like you are saying, apart from just continuity, if you do not have a proper legal framework for why you are there, it's very easy, even if the same people are still there, it's very easy to be dropped at any time, because we do not have a strong basis of why this organization is being created. I also feel like, are we really enough of us to fail to coordinate, if I can put it that way? We're dealing with like five, 6 organizations. We're not dealing like with 80 or 20, I feel a number is still very small. So yeah, those are some of the issues and some of the research. So let me stop there. Those are some issues I had looked at.
Hi. So
For me, I feel this is the beginning. So if we go ahead, I know we are very few. We are like right now, there's only 4 organizations represented. And then, Bernadette is also joining. I mean, she's also online. So we have 5 organizations, and then Dr. Rex is also coming. So it's going to be the 6th organization. So I feel this is the beginning. If we go ahead with this, we put everything in place, other organizations are going to get encouraged to come and join. And as Cynthia has already said about the support from Ministry of Health, I think we need that support for us to thrive, for this to make sense. So if we honestly make this start, this is just the beginning. We are going to make something out of this. So my thinking about this organization is that we will make something like a board where among us we'll get the president who's going to run an office of a certain period, and then we'll get a secretariat, we'll get, also finance and something like that. So and they are just going to run a certain term. So we are going to be rotating after a certain term is done. So all of us should get involved. All of us should put in what we put in our organizations. And when we do that, we are going to bring our weaknesses and our strength together to make it a strong pact. And if anything, it will also help us not to step on each other's feet, because we are going to be in our lane, because all of us have got different thinking about what we want. We are doing one thing, we are advocating for sickle cell, but we've got different things that we are passionate about in our different organizations. So we'll bring in, like, I'm passionate about education, we'll bring in that education aspect. And that the education part is Lukumontambo Foundation, and then other people are passionate about, like, Luimba volunteering and all that. And then when we bring in all those, that's going to be a strength, and that's going to actually help our organization to be seen, to be visible. And also, I believe that if we go as one voice like that, MOH is going to have our backing. Thank you.
Okay, like for what I have heard, it is a situation whereby we all know what it is that we want. And taking the example that Cynthia was talking about, where she benchmarked on a lot of associations, and I would like to pick like Zaki. Zaki actually is not I'm a trustee on Zaki, so it's not a statutory body, but it's got trustees. Like, for example, the movers, like we are saying, who are these people that are going to form this? They become a body of trustees, so that they don't let this thing like die. Whenever it's when we see the gaps, they call on the first mover advantage to say, are we coming out of our vision and mission? So those ones, they'll always be there until they are replaced or they retire and say, okay, for me, I think I can't do this anymore. So then, the trustees are replaced, and you want to change at the Societies Act. You want to change that the trustee now are this. So they are going to carry. And you know what trustees do? It is they hold the association. If you want to wind it down, you call the trustees. They say, okay, now we want to wind this down, because they are the ones with the vision of the association or the council, whatever it is. So it just helps as a buffer to say, if you want to fall, they will be there to lift it up. If
No, so I think I don't understand. You're saying you've got trustees and you also have a board. Or
yes,
are
the
board trustees.
Like a certain period of time, like in the first, the example that I gave for Zaki. Zaki has got a board, and there are 4 trustees who are always called upon. If there is a board meeting and they want their presence, they can be there, or until such a time that the association can run by itself, but the trustees then become in the background. Like I'm trustee for Zambia, the Zafaweb. I don't go to any meeting, you know, I am not there, you know, all the time. But whenever something is happening or wherever I show up, you know, they recognize that this is our trustee. You know, only when they, you know, when something I'm on the chat, I am not there all the time. But when there's something that I really need to, to make a decision on, then we side chat and say this is what it is. And then the person that is in charge of, you know, posting those kinds of things, then they post as the board, so that the people that are there, they see the, you know, the unity of the council and the unity of the association and the unity of the membership, so that whatever it is that they want actually gets done accordingly.
So the board has how many members?
The board has usually, for corporate governance, the board usually must have either 5, 7, 9. Yes, so that when there is a to vote, there should always be an outright winner. Corporate governance dictates that.
And 4 trustees.
Yes. It depends. There can be 4, there can be 3, there can be whatever.
I just wanted to understand that
Yes.
structure.
Yes.
So that, as we are reflecting, also maybe
we can even, you know, like now, we can ask the champion of AI to say when we're Sampa is the champion of AI. So we can ask and say, you know, a body of people, and sickle cell is actually different because of the nature of its thing, where the owners themselves probably cannot even be able to run, but they want to be heard, they want to make certain decisions. So I think those are the ones that can really be like trustees and make sure that whatever it is that they want, it is in their best interest. So because, you know, like we see, we want them here, like what Benedict was saying, I want to be there, but today I can't come out. You know, my legs are cold and I can't go there, you know, this is happening. So we need to support them. We need to support them and say, because at the end of the day, the caregiver actually is also sick when the warrior is sick. Also need a bed when the warrior is not well. So we are a support team, because I want to be in a safe place, and I want my child or my nephew or my grandchild to be in a safe place. So it is something that if trustees, they want, this is what they want, and they are now dependent on the people that can help them run with whatever it is, then you know that both interests are taken care of. Yeah.
I had a question.
Yes.
Is it necessary to register something new, or we strengthen what is already existing? Like if you pick one of the organizations that already exists, you know, open it up, bring in new board members, etc., and then strengthen it. So like you're not starting from scratch, but rather you say Nkumantambo, and then Nkumantambo, you open up and you bring in more board members.
Because you can actually just change of name. Instead of say Montambo, you apply for a change of name, and that change of name then can serve as what it is that you on a national level and bring. Then you don't have to start all the things. but then it has
So
to be.
if we do that, what happens to the other organizations? They will still be. How is it going to work then?
What I'm saying is, if you want one organization to be like a representative and a coordinating body, it's a question.
Yes, I know.
Is maybe you just get one of the already existing organizations and support it to become
The board
rather than starting from scratch.
And
But
then
you just change maybe the structure of the board.
yes, and the name.
And, yeah,
and
or
then
maybe not even the name, but just
yes, and then okay, if for example you got the Locomotive Foundation, right, and everybody comes in there, what happens with Wimba Initiative Zambia? It will be running the way it is, but just being
under the umbrella.
that's what
when,
you mean.
when you say under the umbrella, how do you understand
It's not going
that?
to be the umbrella then that's going to be the main organization, right?
So because like the way they just like I do.
No, do we have the common understanding of how operational? That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you mean when you say
Under
under?
umbrella. Okay, so all organizations, us that are here and any other
Oh,
organization
battery.
will fall under
My
one
laptop battery.
association. So they are called associations. HIV Association of Zambia, Diabetes Association of Zambia, Hemophilia Association of Zambia. That's what they're called. So up there, the whole umbrella, like what I mean an umbrella. If we are my NGOs, we are just named members. We are there as members. And then the top is run by either board members or my trustee association. So that is where now you fall and everyone now
Reports to that umbrella one day.
Now, let me tell you, in reality, in Zambia, there is no HIV Association of Zambia. There is no
So how
malaria
do they
association.
do it?
They fall under statutory bodies. So, like AIDS falls under national.
Hello, bring run with my laptop cable.
No, actually,
Run.
And
They are
those,
not, they're not there.
and those ones are from the ministry themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Malaria falls under National Malaria Control Center, which is a directorate of Ministry of Health.
Yeah, right.
So meaning that the body has to be established at Ministry of Health.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, if we're learning
Yeah.
from what is existing in our country,
We have to follow that.
I'm saying there is no associations like that. They are formed statutory bodies which are under Ministry of Health. They've got some kind of link. Even the one where I can use the word association. Yeah, you know why Chaz is there? Chaz is there because in Zambia, we have contribution hospitals. We all know the contribution hospitals which are under a particular church. But they are still under ministry. So their staff are paid for by Ministry of Health. Their medicines come from Ministry of Health. As came because of Global Fund. Wanted because of Global Fund. They wanted not have that kind of scrutiny on the So they decided to support the churches so that they are able to have much closer oversight over what was happening in their communities. So Charles, in a way, is still Ministry of Health because their institutions are all basically under Ministry of Health. So when Ministry does supervision, so everything, it's done by the Ministry of Health.
So meaning that so we're talking about two different things.
Yeah, there are two different things, and I like the idea that you brought in. Actually, I think it's going to work better for us. But the only worry is, and you know what, these other organizations can be like a department, right? Because she's already got the organization and she's got her own a dream, vision. So let that department run the way it is. But maybe strengthening one organization, I think that can be good.
Yeah, and that can actually work, especially we're talking like we've got a national sickle cell thing led by Dr. Chunda. If that thing led by Dr. Chunda can be like open and it becomes a formal thing, but it's like,
Dr. Chunda is at the ministry.
She's a task force. Yes,
She's the task force.
and you know, there's even a task force. That should have been the thing that actually looks at it.
Unfortunately,
If it was moving, I think that would be the best.
Yeah.
Because
see, the other, sorry, my dear, just a quick one. My other very big concern is where do the other organizations fall in? We know PATH has shown an interest. We know Pizza Foundation has shown an interest. Where do we fall if we are talking of an umbrella? So my thinking was, we as stakeholders, we nominate, like I'm saying, we can vote which organization, but let's say we nominate Zansaba. So Zansaba is going to be our principal organization that is going to, yeah?
I'm in a meeting. Could
Oh.
you text?
She's on the phone. Will be our principal organization.
Hello, I'm in a meeting.
And the rest of us agree
You
to
type.
support them, and then they
It didn't go. I typed it.
sort of give us, you know what I mean? Like I'm saying, if we nominate Zansaba, for example.
okay, I think maybe who's speaking can be coming so that they
But
allow.
what you're saying
It's very important.
very
Come.
important.
Oh, okay.
Come.
It's very important because I think she's understood the structure very, very, very well.
I was saying that amongst ourselves, we can agree. Like I'm saying, we can either vote, or we can find a way how we do this. But I was saying we can nominate amongst ourselves and say, for example, you know, Lukumantambo or Zansaba will be our principal organization. And the rest of us agree to support them, and they become our key link with the Ministry of Health. So then Zansaba now takes on that responsibility, for example, to also call us, keeping us updated and that kind of thing. That's what I was saying, that rather than starting afresh, maybe we look at what's already existing,
Yeah.
and we just support and say
And
this.
strengthen it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm liking that. Is Zansaba here? We don't have Zansaba. You are not.
Congratulations.
Oh.
That's what I was
You are-
saying. That to choose who is, maybe we can agree how we choose.
And maybe for me the organization that really, you know, like Dr. Sawa has got such big dreams, for example, and he's at the hospital. You know, for him it could be that the national thing. We can ask how it can really be done. Otherwise, we all agreeing. If in principle we agree that we need a national thing, then those could be the logistics which we can, you know, come up with and say, how are we going to do this? How is it going to happen? Sampa, you wanted to say something?
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Bye.
You should. Yes, you should join when we are there. Bernadette, what can you say? Can you be able to say something?
Yeah. I like the whole idea. For me, this has been something that I have been praying for. And you know, what I've noticed with sickle cell is that we aren't as supported as our friends our friends are. And I feel bad, especially as someone who has lived in a rural area for a long time. I've lived in Kawambwa since 1993, and how we are treated as compared to other conditions is very different. Now, if we have something like this, where all the bodies, all the sickle cell organizations fall under one, and we are all speaking one voice, and we are all rooting for even us who live in the rural areas, I think our treatment can change. Now, as Cynthia was saying, I think it was Cynthia also, my network is not very good, but I heard someone saying the idea of picking one organization, and that is like the link between us or the other organizations and Ministry of Health. I think it would be a good thing rather than starting afresh where you have to do all the registration and all that. To cut that out, maybe we pick one who will be a link for us. I'm okay with that. I belong to Zanzibar, and I'm not like leaning on no just because no. For me, I would love to see a situation where all these organizations come together and we are working together and we are speaking one voice. I feel we are a bit divided, and yes, each organization has their own vision, their own dream, but there's nothing wrong in us working together. I think at the end of the day, what we want is a better situation for people living with sickle cell. I think that's what I would say. Thank you.
You can come in.
Hello, everyone. I think I'll describe myself as a friend of sickle cell. I'm a sibling. My brother has sickle cell and he's had it for a few years. And I've also got friends that have sickle cell. And one thing I've learned from them is their resilience and their ability to manage their pain, because it's a very painful disease. You know, for me who's asthmatic, I just usually feel the pain when I'm having an attack, and then every other day I'm normal. So I think it's, first of all, just to commend warriors. You are doing a lot, and you are enduring a lot, and you are still successful. And I've never met a warrior who is not doing anything. They're always so intelligent, and you know, they're pushers. I was watching this Grey's Anatomy. She was actually a doctor. There's a doctor. There was also a janitor who had sickle cell, and they only realized that he had sickle cell when he collapsed. And he said, "Look, I have sickle cell, and my child has sickle cell and autism." You can imagine. And he was a janitor because of that. So for me, I just want to say I've never met anyone with sickle cell who doesn't do anything there. You're all great. It's so amazing. Yes, round of applause. And what I want to share is the thing is having a business case. You know, I'll come in as that to say, you know, it's very important to create a business case. All these HIV and cancer and things, they are pushed because they've created a business case. And they can find sponsors, and the sponsors are coming from abroad and putting in funds into this because why? It impacts their bottom line. So I feel it's important to establish the fact that we need to improve the business case behind sickle cell. And, you know, there was something mentioned about a task force, and something that needs to be known is task forces rarely create impact. They are there as a facilitator for you to go in there and work with them. So I would implore that you all come together and speak with one voice, so that even when the donors are coming in, they know that, okay, this is this one voice that is there. So it becomes a business case for them as well, and then it becomes sustainable. So for me as a business consultant, that's what I would tell you and say, look, create a business case. Once you've created a business case, speak with one voice, as Cynthia correctly put it. And then that's the way you can actually move on from there. Thank you.
So, welcome, Dr. Warrior. Yeah. Maybe you can make her some tea. Yeah. Okay. Come and make your contributions. You tried to listen in, but you. Oh, okay.
You have to. You can just make your contribution, like what
Yes.
you picture about this thing.
What have we discussed?
Just don't tell us a picture. What do you think? What you think?
The thoughts, the words, because especially if you haven't even heard anything, just your thoughts about what we're trying to achieve.
All right. I feel it's a good idea, but it shouldn't just, we have it on paper, but it should, have policies that will actually make this thing, it should work, because I've seen things come up and die, so we need to put in policies that work. And then also it should be a committee that actually supports more sickle cell advocacy, instead of limiting. I know we need rules and regulations, but it shouldn't be in a way where it starts now restricting people from doing what they're already doing. Because I feel already the sickle cell community is doing great, from their little resources and everything. It should be a positive vibe. It should be an addition, not a subtraction. I think that's my contribution.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm feeling better.
Okay.
I'm wearing 2 trousers.
Okay. Yeah, and the feet are warm. You're sweating.
Clothes that we made.
It's more than yes.
I think we are also being
Do you take
unfair.
sugar?
Yes, I do.
I think we are being unfair to one another.
We are what? Sorry.
I said what Musonda said when she said there's a lot of great things happening. I think sometimes we have been a little bit unfair to ourselves. For one, who has worked in public health in different disease areas. Personally, and I think a lot of people know this, I just don't want to be the one fighting. But personally, I really feel sickle cell there isn't a problem. Because I've seen how, if you go where there's a meeting for HIV groups, you'll be shocked the number of people who are there. Like, I really have never felt that we got such a big problem.
Because we are few.
Yes, I've never really felt that. I've never felt that. I think the problem that has been there.
Because there's money.
And also because it's not that more funding also brings more fighting.
That's why.
Yeah. I was going to say that for me, I really don't think sickle cell is a problem.
Because we
I
fund
think
ourselves.
The problem is the inertia. It's the movement, even from the government side, has just been too slow. Sorry to say, but it's been too slow. Because, the nature of sickle cell as a disease, what we can do as community members, warriors and so on, it's like maybe 20 or 25%. And the other 75% has to be, sickle cell is a hospital disease. It's not a disease that really you can live and you've never gone to the hospital.
Please come.
Sickle cell is a hospital-based disease. So you find that as a person living with sickle cell, if I look at all my needs as a person with sickle cell, the majority of my needs need to come from the hospital. The part where I can see a sickle cell and support group coming to help me is not like the bigger parts. The bigger parts are the hospitals and the doctors. And this is why I said ministry also has to move, because I can go out in the community, encourage people to take hydroxyurea, but when they go to hospital and it's not available, you know, if I can encourage people to say, you need to have your regular checkups. They go to hospital and the doctor says, no, the clinic, they're only seeing 40 people, the rest of you go back home. You know, things like that. Go for sickle cell testing. You go, there are no sickle cell testing facilities available. So I'm saying is that we are being unfair to ourselves in the sense that I don't think we genuinely are the problem. I think we've been doing great work. I do not really think we alone can solve the problem because of the nature of the disease that we are dealing with. So we'll do our part, but we need to push for the government to also do their part, because these things have to move together. This is not a disease where you can just leave it to a community and say, oh, because the community is organized, everything now will be okay. It's not like that. Like, I just feel like let's not be so hard on ourselves. I really don't think that we've really got a problem. This is what I'm saying. Let's just nominate an organization, see how we can work, come up with a governance structure, how exactly we will, like, you know, when you're saying we're under this, what does that actually mean? When in reality, when you say I am under Zansava, I'm under Lukumontambo, whatever, what does that actually mean for me? So that we are all clear and then we move forward from there. But we can just have, and also if we can be having these kind of meetings more often, doesn't have to be frequently, it can be even once in 3 months or something, so that we are talking more.
Where you are brainstorming, because we need to brainstorm, we need to do a lot of.
Come in on that?
Yeah, where we.
I think we are we are bringing in so many topics. So now, can we talk about this organization? No, can we now talk about this organization? It looks like we've all agreed that we need to talk to get one organization. So before we pick the organization, can we form a structure? Let's form a structure, how it's going to be like, and then we can now try to bring the organization that we should pick from.
Yes, and I think before we even do that, it's a situation where we all want this. We all want to make a difference. Yeah. But how are we going to make this difference? Is by speaking one voice. Mm-hmm. That one voice, it's the national, whatever it is that we are calling it. Yeah. And I know it can work. Each time there is a World Sickle Cell, we come out. Mm-hmm. We all come out because we all have the passion to do something about it. So when we come out, why do we go back into the shells?
Because we are not one organization. That's why.
So this is what it is. We want to be visible throughout the year, so that we can do that. Yeah. And for, like, I take for example myself. I've been advocating for sickle cell for 35 years, right? 35 years is a long time. And if there's all this information sits, then it would have been, it would have been easy. Even if I'm not there, you come and say, oh, this association has got this, and people move. And every year we can be having, in fact, the advantage of actually having one national thing is every year there's an annual general meeting. And then we can be saying the annual general meeting should always be in June. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The annual general meeting should always be in June, so that we've got the activities and it ends up with an AGM.
Okay, so now let's talk about the structure.
Yes.
So, of course, we're going to have the president, right? In this structure. President, secretariat, what else?
Okay.
Maybe...
Yes.
Okay. So, just as a preamble, this is what I do. I do business registration, business advisory, and things like that. So before you name the titles, you need to identify what actions will be done under those titles. And then it will be easier because it doesn't even need to be president. You could have actually names that, that are even, that just resonate within the sickle cell
Yes,
community, where
yes.
it's like, okay, champion,
Yes.
this, things that, not, it doesn't have to follow, it can follow the same president structure, vice president and all that, but it should also
Create
drive
names.
something home.
Something
It should be
home to ride on,
meaningful. Yeah, it should be meaningful because there's something that all sickle cell warriors, they're champions, right? So it needs to resonate with that. So as we're creating a structure, let's say, okay, what needs to be done under this? We need someone who is going to oversee, like the way she's saying, the medication that is needed. You go to the hospital, it's not there, and then who's going to deal with that? Is it the president, right? So before that, you need to itemize. Like I'm just learning things now, but if you call it president, and I'm like, oh, okay, what does he do or what does she do? So I think the first steps is you are trying to you've worked as a unit and done things internally. Now it needs to become external, and when other people like me listen, it should make sense also to me without having to be explained to, right? Yeah. So I feel as we're doing that, we name what it is. So the first thing is someone who oversees and goes into hospitals and makes sure that these things are there. Like even the cancer people, there's actually a team of people that make sure that the machines in each place are working, right? But who will do that? Is it the president of the association? Is it advocates? Is it ambassadors? Who does that? So I think that's the first step that we should take. I submit.
Stay here.
So yes, stay there. So what's your
Bring the
we
pen.
can look at whatever all those names and then we
Yes.
yeah. So let's look at all that.
I could actually even write.
Yes. Be writing there.
So the roles.
Is that for the?
So these positions will be people will be elections.
Yeah, I think let's do elections or volunteer.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Use
sometimes
hand sanitizer.
people can just volunteer and say, I want to do this. And then,
No, here. When the roles are clear, even the volunteers will be there.
yeah. Okay, so for me, there's an executive committee. Yeah. We are writing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So saying for me, I'm thinking there's an executive committee. We are still cleaning up.
No, you can speak. I've got a photographic memory.
Okay. And this executive committee is the one that should have either the chairperson or president. It should have its vice, and then secretary and treasurer. And then we go to departmental roles. So the departmental roles will have advocacy and policy.
Now, basically, your chairperson, you said treasurer,
and
secretary, and then I was just also have 2 committee members so that we reach the 5.
So it's an organogram actually that is needed.
We do the 5 or the
Or
7.
we do 5.
I think either we do the 5 or the 7, but I was the chair.
Let's do the
President.
7, maybe. You know why?
Champion.
I think we are about 7 organizations. So let's keep the whole 7.
Yes, so say if you
Are we seven? That's why I was asking who's in seven,
Secretary.
because I'm also counting SBM.
No, don't count me.
So meaning we are few. We are Zansel.
Yes, yes.
Then we've
No,
got
I'm
Lukomo,
non-executive.
We've got Rasis, we've got Wimba Initiative, we've got
Zanseva is
Gideon.
Bob.
There are no.
Bob
then
and
we've
the
got
and
four-
the
I'm
Canada.
also Zanseva.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's what.
we are five.
Please say them.
There's Zanseva, there's Rasis,
I'll just spell.
RACIZ.
RACIZ.
Then we've got Wimba Initiative.
Remember?
Yes.
Which one is the one which was recently with MTN?
the same
Wimba
So
Initiative.
this one.
Yes.
See, I follow you guys.
And then we've got Lukumontambo Foundation, LUKUMO, then NTA, same word, NTAMBO Foundation. Then we've got Foster, FO, SCA. And then that's it.
Yeah, we have
These are
two
five.
others
These are five.
who didn't want to be part of
No,
it.
we are five.
Leave them out.
They don't want to be part of it.
Yeah, they don't
Imagine.
want.
And you know, if Zanseva was actually not going to be formed if we would have agreed. Remember what the way we started? We said let's just go and let's find. We wanted the what's her name?
Let's bury the odd things. We are going forward, so we are five there.
Okay, all right. Anyway, when they see, they will come.
Yes, they'll come.
Okay, so what are they? We can put them as 10 people.
So those are five.
No,
positions.
don't just put that.
Then I was gonna say we can have two committee members. So like
Yeah.
even like
So,
someone like Musonda,
let's
we
work
don't
with the
have
five.
organization, but can still
Musonda is part
Musonda.
of Zanseva.
Yeah, part of that. Okay, so I'm just saying, but I still feel we should have two committee members.
Yeah, from the five, right?
Adding on.
Oh, adding on. Then Zakaf, you can put the what you wanted.
Don't put the just say committee member too.
Or they can come from anywhere.
They can, yes.
Okay.
They can be, or you can say those will just be.
Because I
yes,
thought committee members should come from there. No.
I'm
from
saying
the
adding
five.
on to the five.
Okay.
Adding on. You have just two
So is
extra.
it a must that each person
What are the
come
two
from
extra?
there or?
That's why I was saying, Ati, we should have two, because if you have Zanseva, we have one representative, right? In that structure. But if you add, it means you can have maybe even a second person. If we have got an interest to say we need.
Because yes,
For this
because
reason.
like he lies on at the hospitals making these things are done. If we've got Dr. Chisawa there and Dr. Msonda there, then we know that some of the things can be done in the hospital, and we just.
So those are the
But
ones
do you
who are
know
saying
that people in the
champions.
hospital can't be the champion?
Yes, we can call
They
them
can't.
champions, we can, but.
But
should
they
have
can't. The
provision.
people that are like Dr. Chisawa, they can't be the champion. They can't.
But we should have,
the-
what I was saying is let's just have provision.
Yes,
For
provision.
these extra people.
We're actually
Maybe-
talking about two different things.
Yeah.
Yes, we've understood what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
So
Okay,
you're
let's-
telling me that each sickle cell person falls under this. What about those who are outside of this and
Yeah.
still
That's what-
That's what I'm
they don't
that's why
want-
she
they don't want
That's
to be part
why,
of it.
that's why I said.
No,
let's have
that's why she
provision.
said
Yes.
we make
Yeah.
So we
provision.
can call them.
We can
Wait,
call
Committee
them-
I like
members.
the idea. Let's start with the rules, right? So
Yeah.
the president does this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we at least
But
we
this is
should
needed.
know
So that
that one is
Because you can
needed.
even
So
make a-
committee members can come from the sickle cell family who don't belong there.
You can also target.
so it can be called
Prominent.
sickle cell family.
not-
Yes.
Not politicians,
For community.
but
Sickle cell
you can
community.
target some prominent person. who can-
Those ones can be
they'll
trustees.
push
It
you.
doesn't
Those
even
ones
have
can
to
be
be someone
trustees.
with sickle cell.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
it can be pushed because you wouldn't want to create a situation.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to create a
And
situation.
you people, you
that's
are too
like-
moody. Sometimes it's not easy to work with you.
No.
Me, I understand them. I understand them.
Yeah.
They've got too much pain that they're always in
Sometimes
crisis.
you can't work with them.
Can't
Yeah.
reason. You just leave them alone.
Like me, I wouldn't want to commit to being part of an association, but when needed,
we are there.
Or when I'm available,
I think
can
instead of family,
So, and
can
then
you
can I say
write
something?
community?
Sickle cell community.
What I've seen the ZMA
SCD, just do
SCD.
SCD. SCD, sickle cell disease community. So just say SCD,
SCD
community.
community.
So,
which accompanies which
She was talking about, yes.
Mm-hmm.
SCD community. And those they can be, and also trustees. Then
And trustees,
the trustees would be like the
prominent
people, like the ones that are here making things happen. Those could form part of the. So whatever happens, you come back to why this thing is
Isn't the trustees the prominent people that we want?
Trustees, they have to. It's like if you want to say we don't want this anymore, you call them back. If we want to change something, we call them back. If we want to do,
Yeah,
we
so
call
they
them
should
back.
be like the friends of sickle cell that are very
like the way they're saying the one who can't be a champion
yeah.
can be a trustee.
Yes,
Trustees are usually invisible,
but it's
but
strong.
they are strong. They're the ones who can make your the corporate governance of your
Yes.
firm such that you can get funding.
Then races can go under trustees.
Yes,
Races.
I've got a question. I've got
yes.
Because
Just say trustees 3.
Yeah, so yeah. Maybe yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a contribution.
Yes, yes.
One thing like borrowing from the ZMA Association. So they have committees, right? Like committees that run certain things. So I was thinking maybe in the structure of the instead of saying specifically that those people from those organizations should have positions, right? We make it maybe there's someone who runs the committee and
Chair of the committee.
yes, and oversees all the sickle cell organizations.
That's me. That's Dr. Chunda. For us,
But
that's
it's,
Dr.
it's
Chunda.
always good to have one person each from here, so that when you have
No,
a
like
meeting,
so, like those, like each person, right? So we have a position in the executive to say this is the chair, is the whatever we give it the title that runs the sickle cell organization. Then each organization can send a representative for
Yes.
for that.
Oh,
Yes, yeah. So that
yes,
they
you
have
like
So
the
we
way
are
the
not
Zambia Chamber of
speaking.
Commerce is, and then you have like Lusaka, Kitwe,
Yes, yes.
and
So-
then they all feed into the ones.
Yeah.
Then that
So-
person
so when
overrides
we
and
say-
sees
yeah.
the
So when we
activity.
say Zanseva, we are not picking a person, we are picking the organization.
Yes,
Yeah.
the representation.
Yeah.
From Zanzibar.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so back to this. We said
Okay.
the roles that the president would do are what?
Okay, so roles of the president.
AI.
Yes.
Can help us.
Leadership. Leadership provides strategic direction and vision for the organization. Representative. My throat, it's becoming worse.
Put the have tapali lemon tea.
Organization, let's say for the community.
Yes. I'm just reading this and then we can change it. Representation. Represent the
You
organization.
actually could have.
I didn't get this because I've already, so AI is taking me back because I started from the beginning. So there's that, and then I will do that.
You have to even when you're asking AI,
You have to be specific.
you have to be specific.
Yes.
You have to be
Because I
specific.
started it from the beginning. That's why I was
You can actually even tell it to consolidate everything that you've been doing so that
Yes.
you're not reading.
I did. Look at my beginning here. That's what I'm saying. Here.
So that's what I'm saying, is that to prevent you doing.
We are trying to make a national sickle cell organization which will combine already existing roles. What are the roles? And then the roles come, and then now roles of president. So it's going from the beginning.
That's what we need to also go
voting is not a good way of doing things.
I agree.
Yeah, I like to vote.
After you have discussed, voting, me with my experience, with voting, you leave some people not happy.
Yeah.
But with make sure that you discuss and agree, it's the best. Consensus is always
but
the best.
Voting is to create consensus, so that it's not, we know they made the decision for us. You give them 3 options or 4, you minimize the options.
Yes.
And then you say, out of these options that we've discussed, what do we choose?
So
It minimizes
Yes.
time waste.
Oh yeah, sure.
It minimizes.
It's not voting, it's you identifying the things that you want. So you narrow it down to something.
Yes, and then you from those then you pick. I'm a big advocate for voting.
So that you just shut people up
and
stop talking.
If you go in your heart, you're not happy, the world's not fair.
There's no lemon there.
Because again, it would be, Bananani, she came through and she made the decision for us. Do you think you've done consensus?
It's true.
But if it's voted for and it's transparent that it's been voted.
Who was there?
Yeah.
But for me, the sickle cell community, take the organizations away. The actual people affected, we are so many. When we talk about voting, who has got the right to vote?
So those are the questions now you need to answer. Who should vote? What is the weighting of those votes?
Hello, lemon.
It's clear, right?
Okay, thank you. Hello, we've got so much lemon. You just cut in between.
So it says, so I've asked it, kindly assist with consolidating this and coming up with an organic. So it says, based on the rules and structure discussed, what you discussed with your team. Here's the suggested organogram of the National Sickle Cell Organization. So executive committee would have the president, chairperson, vice president, vice chairperson, secretary, and treasurer. 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then departments.
Yeah.
You have advocacy and policy, head advocacy and policy officer, education and awareness, head education and awareness officer, patient support and services, head patient support officer, research and development, head research officer, fundraising and development, head fundraising officer, communications and public relations, head communications officer, and then working groups. You have patient support group led by patient support officer, health professional network led by research officer, youth and family support led by patient support officer. And then you have regional representatives, regional coordinators report to executive committee.
Yes, I think that's the best one. That's what I thought. When I looked at it, I thought this is the best because even the roles that are there, the person who won't be fighting for I want to be the president because everyone has a role.
Yes, everyone has a role.
So
President like a guide.
Yes, president.
Yes, it's for corporate governance. There's no
president should just be the voice
yes
of the organization.
because you just need someone who is going to open doors for you.
And
who's going to
I think? I think the president, I think the same president is the task force, the Dr. Chun. And then we get the roles for Bashar.
The problem is the same task force say they want
0711.
They want one. So you can't, they want a group that would be
yes,
to
I
them.
know.
So they don't want that.
Anyway, let her write down and then we are going to make ourselves appear. And then, since we are few, we can actually even have 2 positions. You know that.
That's what this actually said.
Oh, good.
There's some positions
which you can get. You can get 2 positions. I'm saying this because I wanted to change I wanted to do a new whatever for Lukumantambo Foundation. So we were calling it Sickle Cell Resource Center, and we were working on this. So really, that way is the best way to go.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the people that are involved, they were too
Usually
slow for my
you just want like the way Dr. Chunda is, you want someone who can
talk on your behalf.
You know what you want, but you just want their voice. Like the way I was telling you that, even last year when we were doing the letters, we do the letters and sign. Ask her to sign, and you who's doing the work sign, so that if they can meet, they know that Dr. Chunda is aware because she's on the letter, but she's not even actually doing anything.
It's for clout.
Yes, it's just for making. She's going. Also, the challenge that I found with the officers is they are so, I don't know if I can use the scared or something for the PS, and so they would actually send me to go to the PS and speak for them what they want.
You know
that is
why?
coming
Because
from,
they are part of the MOH. So that's why even so then they can't, just like if like Rasis, we can't make him to be that because he's MOH.
Yes. So I remember for me, I could go there and bully.
Who are not MOH.
I would actually go there to the office of the PS or the minister and type the letter.
Yes.
And then just ask, to be signed, but they would not do that.
Yeah.
There's so many protocols that as we're able to do. It's different if Cynthia goes to say something, and it needs to be escalated. They will listen to her.
Do you know what the problem? Truthfully, like I'm saying, I think this is a problem we have so much in the sickle cell community. There is a structure in place in the Ministry of Health. There's a way that our friends work, like I'm saying, that's HIV, malaria, TB, family planning, whatever. There's a structure that is already in place. The problem that we've had is sickle cell. And even this, like I'm saying, me personally, if I can be very honest, I don't agree with this, but I've decided not to argue. The reason you have those problems is because you're not going through the correct Ministry of Health channels. This is why you have these problems, because we are trying to create something which is not falling within what is already there.
But the one who taught us to do this at the task force.
Because this is why I've said they are part of the problem. Because that's truthfully speaking is not the way the ministry works. This is why they are scared. Yes, this is why. Do you know why they're afraid? Do you know why they're afraid to sign the letters? They know they're not supposed to. They know the system. They know the system very well. This is why they know if I put my signature here,
they will ask
I'll be in trouble because they'll say, you know the procedure. Why are you doing this? So what I'm saying is the problem that you're going to have. Do you know somebody in Mwanza?
We have
No, do you know what's going to happen, Mwanza? I'm not trying to be negative. You will say, somebody senior will come and say, why is this thing like this? Because this is not a normal practice.
But
and they'll just come and.
So what do we do? Should we call Dr. Chunda right now?
Let's carry on.
Yeah, let's carry on because she's the one who actually said we do.
Do you know, for me, what you also need is to bring in even someone from ZMA, like someone who is very experienced in this kind of work, even to be an advisor, because there was Zambia Malaria Foundation was set up. The same thing. No, let's all the NGOs doing let's be unified. They just started. The PS just came and said, no, what is this?
Okay, can we do this then? We do what we are doing, and then we bring in someone to say, this is, we had this meeting, this is what was discussed, and this is where we are. Can you direct whether we're in the right decision, we're right, whatever or not? I think let's go ahead like that.
Yeah,
We should have the option. Let's have two options: what she's talking about and what we're doing. So we see
you
which
know
ones.
whose blessing you need an approval when it comes to ministry? It's peers. Peers, especially technical services. Unless we are a group that is
Oh, the peers.
doing
We
work-
need the blessings of the peers.
yes, technical services.
Yeah,
Or
Dr.
we become a
Nishimbi.
group that is like you are not so much whatever
I
you're
actually
doing.
had a very big discussion with Dr. Nishimbi after his father, his mother.
The problem that we have an inactive task force. Eh? That's one. Because they are supposed to be leading all of this. So the problem we have, like I said, the way sickle cell is, you have no choice. You have to interact with the health system because of the way for you to help a person with sickle cell.
Disease,
That has to be there. Okay, so we cannot step outside of the system and think we can be effective. But I was saying the other way you can do this and not get into trouble with ministry is to focus on what won't so directly overlap with
Cynthia,
the
I'm
ministry.
getting you, but can I suggest that after we do this, we should have a meeting with peers?
What I wanted to say is let's focus our activities on areas that are not like so sensitive, if I can put it that way. Like, community awareness. Like, okay, what exactly are you people focusing on? Apart from the roles, we also need to be very clear about what exactly are we focusing on.
Yeah,
Patient
so
support groups.
yeah, so now
awareness.
when we have the roles, we are going to know exactly what we should focus on those roles, and then maybe the sensitive things we can take them out, as you are saying. Yeah. So let's go ahead and
Actually, there, from the
So they go to like a meeting committee.
the discussion that I had with the peers, there's nothing sensitive there.
yeah,
That's what they want.
that's what
That's what they want, Cynthia. Those things. They want us to be clear where, if there's something that they want from us, they
we
know where to go.
know who's going to be
Yes.
who is the leader of this and how they can be approached.
Okay, when I say sensitive things, I mean like drugs.
Yes, of course,
distribution,
that
like,
one,
you know,
no.
things that
Yes, no, that one,
But-
of course, we can.
but-
But you have got the right to say we do not have hydroxyurea in the
Yes,
hospital.
that's true.
That we're from our own, state and from our own, where we're starting, where we're standing. We went to the hospital and there's nothing.
Those are
They want those. They want those.
Those are sensitive. That's
Those
what
are
happened.
sensitive. People have been fired over sending people to quarantine.
You go and do what?
For not having the drugs in the pharmacy, people have been fired.
No, but
So then you become like a whistleblower. Unless that's what you want, but for me, it's a sensitive area.
So maybe we can write this down and then erase.
Okay, that's okay. I'm picking something from here.
Sure.
Thank you. I don't.
Where is the other board? There's no other board.
It's okay. She knows how she's handling it.
It's more like that thing actually doing that.
I can help you.
Yes.
Our friends are doing
Yeah, but I met a hematologist in South Africa. Truthfully, even hydroxyurea, it's just a cheap release.
Dr. Sarah was at Navy organizing with your
But for me,
That's why he was calling. He wanted me to clarify.
the many medicines I use. That is, for me, hydroxyurea, I've lived without hydroxyurea for 40 years. What about the other things? The other essential treatments that I'm not allowed to talk about? You know, I'm saying once, I said hydroxyurea is not the bedrock of sickle cell treatment. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's one of, and a lot of us don't
Clear it.
even- A lot
Yes.
of warriors don't even
The
take it.
problem is the Zambia we was limited for sickle cell.
No, it's not.
Mm.
I'm saying once I said the truth
I was
is,
trying
if
to
we're talking
rewrite
about
some
drugs,
of them, like
there's folic acid, there's hydroxyurea for those who are on it,
And
there's
penicillin
pain
for those.
medicines, there's pain medicines, there's other things that I'm saying.
Delta Prim and penicillin.
Yes, those are actually, so when if we say we're talking about drugs, it includes everything, not
It's
just
even that. So you
hydroxyurea.
talk about you need drugs for your nerves, your neuropathy.
Exactly. Now if
Which
you
you're not
go,
taking.
We need clean blood.
yes,
My own
Clean
daughter
blood.
can't get blood in Zambia. Elsewhere she can get. What's that?
because of the process.
She can't.
Yes.
And then she ends up really
process.
Each time she gets it back into the
Yes. The first time we ended up going in ICU 6 days, and there was nothing they could do. Every time until Dr. Chunda called me when her HP was 1.9. And she told me, well, come, I explained. We went, surrounded her. She was yellow. You know 1.9?
Yeah.
She was yellow. Her chest was like this.
Mhm.
And Dr. Chunda says, now you've seen her, let's go and sit. Then she started explaining, there's nothing we can do right now. Yeah, she said there's nothing we can do because if we transfuse her at 1.9, we are losing her. But there's one drug that can be used, but it's very expensive. I said, give me the prescription. It was IVIG. IVIG at that time was 25 in one dose. She needed 5. Do you know that one of the girls, Natasha, the other week, she needed IVIG. The mother told me it was 75
Yes,
one
it's now on NEMA.
It's not on
NEMA
NEMA
It's
now.
an essential drug
It's not
now.
on NEMA, apparently.
No, but it
It
has
was.
been listed as an essential
Yes,
drug.
and
Yeah.
it was on NEMA. Do you know that it was on NEMA until 2 months ago?
It has
Yes,
been
it's too
removed.
expensive.
It's
Yes, 75 p. And that drug.
So under this, with the experience
that
of
drug.
everyone, then it can be dealt
Yeah,
with.
Mrs. Mata, that drug is the one that saved my daughter.
It's not
And then
75.
75 p. How many?
But
Yeah.
I'm saying those are the sensitive things that will make us become a problem because
We can't. Yeah.
it's a big issue. Like I said, even Nima and all that, but there are reasons they're not paying for it. Come to painkillers. Bedwetting is such a big issue. We all know. If we start talking about it, it becomes a problem. That's why I'm saying that I would leave it out. It's important,
No, that's what
but
I
I think with that we have to go.
Which one can we leave out?
I'm saying drugs, all these medicines,
No, it's not there. The drug thing is
we
not
leave it
there.
out.
No, it's not there. What's there is actually what we need. Drugs are not there.
Patient support and
Somebody.
services.
You can now go ahead, start reading. We follow you now on that one.
Patient support and services. That's why I research on my drugs because so I'm not saying that.
No. I think
Maybe-
maybe to be clear, all this is talking about, it's not, nothing is talking about the actual medication.
Yes.
This is about awareness.
Yes.
Because like I said, when I came in here, I didn't know. But within your communities, it's like the information is there, but the information is not trickling down.
Can we
So all this is
maybe
about
limit
awareness.
that to, the support we are giving, though it's not professional, but it's more of just mental health.
Yes, so that still would be considered support.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you
what
have
I'm
to-
saying. So can we be specific to say?
Yes, that's what she's
Or
starting
you
now.
use the word emotional support or something like that.
Because
I
sometimes-
think that is okay. Only emotional support.
Because I
is
don't know what you have
protection.
experienced, even in the groups. Or you go to the hospital, somebody has been diagnosed to have sickle cell. That is when now they need this kind of support.
Support,
yes.
Telling them what to do.
Patient
How you,
support.
yes.
How are you going to
Yes.
treat? How are you going to now do
Yes,
this?
and that is more of like counseling, it's more of
But you can't call it
That is the
counseling.
biggest medicine, actually.
You can't call it medicine. It should be called patient support.
In future, we never know the service. We can.
Yes.
Okay, so services,
and
counseling can be under services.
Yeah, it's under patient support
And services. All
Because
that is
even me, I
description
need
of
counseling.
Even
Yes.
no, it's true because I also need counseling. Like you were saying something to say, oh, there's this medicine, and I was like, no, I don't think he takes that. Meanwhile, he takes.
Yes.
That's part of
And
support.
not only that, you know what siblings sometimes would even start having that whatever with a tie with a warrior
Yes.
because they feel the warrior is being fed
Getting
by money
attention.
and that
Yes,
me
yes.
I'm left out. So me as a sibling, I also need to be cancelled.
Mm.
So all of us.
Yes,
need
yes.
that.
In
So
fact,
that's what's under services.
Yeah.
do you know, I can tell you this, for us, when he was younger, because now we had to explain to the outer family, the bigger family, maybe the cousins and the what. So when they come home, there's certain things that they shouldn't do.
This actually should have
We
been
went to
reminded.
Alap, we share the whole day. Let's concentrate. Let's go.
But this
Sampa.
time we are finding, why these things should be.
Okay, now Sampa, go ahead.
Okay. So we
No.
I think we've started with this
Some of
patient
these-
support and services.
Sorry, my dear, some of these documents, for me, they are living documents. You are
Yes.
always updating them. It's not meant that when you write it once,
And it's
you will
no.
never update
That's
it.
why there is also
I
even
think
research.
the fact that you are sharing with a wider community, it does help to be a bit specific so that even those who are not sitting here with us understand. But
That's
you can
what we
use
want to
words
start
like
doing now.
you can use words like it and add, or you can say emotional, whatever,
Emotional
mental
support.
support,
So
and
now
others,
that's what we
or
are
something
doing.
like that.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah. So we are
Wow.
starting with patient support.
I'm saying patient support is too broad of a term.
Oh.
It's too broad. It's so many things.
So what do you
especially
want to
sickle
call
cell.
it? What do you want to call it?
Just like we can have a bucket list of the things that can be
Yeah,
there.
That's what I'm saying. You can
But
put
in the
different
expansion-
levels, you can put so that anyone can understand what we were thinking of.
You can put a arrow down there.
I'm thinking to wrap this up. Make it neat.
Or maybe put it in brackets.
What's that?
Mental health in brackets.
No, but this is a heading, and then there can be subheadings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
So
that's
this
what
is
like that.
this
Yes,
is
that's
this
what
is
we
the
are
heading,
saying.
patient
Yeah.
support and services. Then you have subheadings under the main heading
Yes.
to explain, to say,
Yes.
because it's not just for the person who's suffering the disease. Even us,
Yes. that's what I'm saying.
I'm
We
affected
should be a
by
bit-
being a sister of the world, because there's certain things. For me, I can juggle.
And mental is there already. You've already written.
Mental health. Yes.
Yeah,
I can
she's already
juggle. I can juggle taking care of my babies and what. But then I also have to be sensitive to what he can do and what he can't do. So that also falls under mental health, because other people would be like, the way you rightly said,
Because
oh,
I
but why
wanted
isn't
to
he
put-
helping more?
Yes.
I
But he
wanted to
can't.
propose financial support as well, which I think is a big issue
Financial support there.
in our community.
You remember? And the babies want him. And he's
Cynthia.
tired. He
That's
doesn't
me
want
as
him.
well. Tell me,
If we-
when you
Cynthia,
take your children-
If we put financial
Yeah.
support at the moment, I think we are not able. Let's take it out.
But
We'll
it's
bring
a
it
big
another
issue,
time.
one.
Is it?
We'll bring it at financial support.
Financial is a big
Okay.
issue.
You know, financial support.
It's difficult
It's
at
a
the
very
moment.
big issue.
I think sometimes we make things bigger than it is, right? Financial support can be, you can have a membership fee, for instance, and each person pays 100 kwacha. And if you are 1 million people, 100 kwacha times 1 million, you have what you need.
So should we?
So
put
it's
it at
not
this
always.
moment?
I think it's important.
We
even
want,
if
you know,
it's-
the problem is
even
we
if
want,
it's
when something is
regulated.
happening to me, we want everyone now to contribute to me. Meantime, there are many other people who are in the
That
same
are paying the
position.
same- that are
Maybe
paying
even
the
worse. But
Yeah.
I think it may not necessarily just because we have got fundraising, whatever elsewhere, right?
Fundraising and
Even
development.
if it's regulating it or something, but that financial thing has to be spoken about.
Okay, we've agreed
Yes.
it's there.
So then it would be under patient support and
Yes,
services.
Yes.
Financial.
Oh, sorry,
So,
before we start, we've already started writing. So I was thinking, right? Some of those, for example, education, education awareness and advocacy, right? Like one thing.
That's why I said since we are few, we'll be merging
You
them
can merge
together.
So I was thinking of many like advocacy, education, and awareness. Like this can be run by one person.
Wait, I think you know why I'm saying wait.
Yeah.
You know why I'm saying
But
wait.
there's a fundamental difference
Yes,
between
there's-
advocacy
it's
and
different.
it's like being an evangelist and being a preacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
They
leave it
sound the
there.
same, but they're
I think
different.
leave it there. Yeah. If one person can handle that, we are going to find out how you can handle.
So that eventually, if let's say when it grows, it's not like, oh, but this is my department.
Yes.
So
So
if
let's
they're
leave it there.
separate departments, and then
Yeah.
you can.
But if you and Sonda can get advocates and education, then you will
And
get
then you
it.
can-
But we'll find out how you are going to do that. Yeah. So let's go ahead.
This is why I hate this term of social advocate. I hate that word because it's so limited. I don't know.
It's like you can only, you know what it means, and I agree with you, because it means that you can only advocate, but you can't even help anyone. You have advocated,
And that's what we've been doing all along.
Yes.
We've just been advocating.
advocating, and then there's no help. Where is the help?
If you take Tina financial,
You do much more, and you should be doing much more.
no, because we don't have money. Look at that group. The group, my group is almost 1,000 now. People, you know, right now we've got people who inbox me. Can you help me with this money? Sometimes I text to the admin because when I think I'm admin, I text to the admin. Once are you going to manage? Hey, not okay. I keep quiet. Sometimes the admin contribute. We send. It's a lot of money.
But I think we need also some rules around that.
Yes.
That's why we are doing this. This one will help. But are we able to now? Eventually, yes, but now.
No, we also have need rules. We can't say everything. Everyone goes, I want this, you
Yeah.
can give.
Yeah. I want to sickle cell. Sometimes when I really think about it, you know, I feel pain because it's in me. It's a passion.
It's not for you, it's for the child born in sickle cell today. To never go through what you're going through.
Yes.
Yes, in fact,
That's
this is
what
why.
comforts me. It may never change for me, but it's for the child who's born in sickle cell today to never go through what I'm going through.
You know, I'm so controversial about that. I wanted to say genetic counseling, the newborn screening, that stuff we were
It
doing.
can go in there. Yeah, it can go in there.
You see, these, I would call these our main
Yes.
pillars. I think the last one has to do with the genetic testing, counseling, newborn screening. I don't know what you can call it.
Well, Cynthia, don't you think what you're talking about can go on patient support and services? Kind of services.
You know, I'm talking about, remember a few years ago in Dola,
Yes, I know.
when they were launching that?
Yeah.
And the testing you've been doing with Dr. Chisawa
Yeah.
at the events and stuff.
Mhm.
That's what I was saying. I feel that should be the last of these big groups. I feel that one is something the advocacy groups or whatever you can call us. There's a lot
Advocacy and
for us to
policy.
do in that one.
Don't you think it can fall under advocacy and policy testing and all that? Yeah.
You know, for me, I really feel that is a massive, it's a big thing now.
No, even if it's big, but it has to go in one of the roads. So advocacy and policy can take that. So that's where we are going to find now the difference. My phone is gone with her, or is it here?
You need something like that. Yes,
I think they can touch the continual at Sanga. This is the black one.
Yes, just make sure that it's
red.
white. It's you need red. Ah, here. That one is permanent.
Thank you. So We are still on patient support and services. Cynthia, are
Oh,
we?
sorry. This is what these are the 5 big things I had. 6 big things I thought about. So number 6, I kind of was changing. They are already there, so you don't have to change. Awareness and advocacy, screening and diagnosis. The reason I said that is to promote and facilitate. Okay, let me not say facilitate. To promote newborn screening for sickle cell disease across Zambia. Then the patient support networks, establish patient support networks, research and collaboration, advocacy. I had put policy, but I think that was for MOH.
Policy comes with advocacy here. Advocacy
Yeah,
and policy.
and then I put training capacity building.
The training, we've put it under education. So that's
Yeah, the capacity building for even the same groups to be able to.
okay. Are we done on the patient support and services? We said counseling, mental health, and financial. What other services do you think can come here? Mrs. Wansa? What do you think?
Do we need to be specific? Like, for example, the person needs drugs. I don't know.
It will come on this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, do we need to make it alone or do we just under
Counseling, financial.
Some of the needs
I
we
think
need.
let's
Some
leave
need.
it here. I think let's leave it the way it is.
Here, patient support system, like
Yeah.
You are sick, you have been taken. I like to give this practical example. You had a stroke, right? You're going to the hospital. Where are you going?
I think make it patient support networks, because in there,
Yeah,
what
probably.
our activity.
Who are you calling? Who can accompany you? Because those are emergencies where you can't leave your child, you can't leave. It has happened, and you just need who is there at the right time to give you the correct medication.
I feel like what we are actually doing is connecting within, like you're saying, you need help. We
Yes,
are connecting within the community.
that's why a lot of people are dying.
that's
It's
what
because
we
of that time when it happens. Where you're going to the hospital, then you find there's no one who actually knows.
You know what? We are just going like in the nitty-gritty of the word patient support.
Yes.
No, patient support networks, then remove everything else.
Services and everything.
Yeah, just say patient support networks. Because
No,
say
don't
that-
remove
I
those.
think let's not remove. I think
Because
let's leave it
people think network is people don't understand what networking is.
Yeah, it's what we're already doing. Like you're saying, your WhatsApp groups, that is really what we are doing and what we're
Maybe the
doing.
networks can even just be in brackets because it's explaining all those.
Yeah.
That's really what we do. And then the other things,
Just
mental
yes,
health,
put in the brackets the
money,
networks.
yeah, and then remove all the other things that we put under, like the mental health, financial, etc.
I think let's not remove for now.
Yes,
Because
not
we
that.
want to know what falls in there.
Because that's
Okay, so now let's go to advocacy and policy. What's in there? Advocacy and policy, what's
I
in there?
think we should be a bit specific, because this is not just any organization talking about an umbrella. I think we are advocating for the inclusion of or the establishment of national health policies for sickle cell.
Yeah, so what am I putting?
Advocate for the inclusion of sickle cell disease in national health policies, strategies.
I want you to make it.
Guidelines, but I think
Okay, inclusion of sickle cell, what? Strategies.
sickle cell disease in the national or Ministry of Health strategies and policies. So we want the way other diseases are called out and recognized. That's what we really want.
Okay, then what else? Advocacy and policy, what's in there?
I'm saying for the umbrella, isn't that?
Yeah,
really
we
the
are
main
doing
thing?
it for the umbrella.
Yes, so that's the main thing we're doing.
On this one, and we leave it there.
What about the policies of the organization? Does it
The
go under-
organization.
The organization will have their
The
own
governance
policies.
structure.
No, does that position of us is that those policies that
I think so. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
policies of organization.
So that they make sure that whoever falls under that organization is
That's true. So that we don't just have organizations coming up without, so these
I
ones
think
are the
those-
ones that you go to.
For the organizations, call those their governance structures rather than policies, so that we don't get confused. Just for our understanding. Because the organizations that are coming, what we want to know is how do you operate, what are you doing?
Yes, so it comes here.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we done on advocacy?
Whereas with government, we want actual laws.
Yeah, so that one comes on advocacy. Yeah. So this one, advocacy, it comes on advocacy. Advocacy is a bit wide actually. Yeah.
I was saying for this, yes, but we should be specific. What do we really want? We want to see change. Government addressing some of these things should be our main focus.
Actually, the one who takes the advocacy and policy is the one that will be like really there, like the loud mouth. You know what I mean? Going to the government and all that for advocacy, advocating for drugs and things like that. I think let's move research and development.
That one is, I think, is okay.
The way it is.
I was thinking instead of development, research and development. Yeah, why can't it be clinical, those training? Because I feel like
Training.
because our really our health we can be
Yes.
So that is, and it's separate. Then we talk about it, we said capacity building and whatnot.
Yes, so it can come
So
there.
that's all the capacity building training, whether it's
No, that one is like research, scientific, right? So the research is more like scientific, right?
Yeah.
Statistics of how many people are there.
But if what can you say on this
Communications
one?
and whatever. But we should also add, because right now, like research is not even our one thing right now. The problem is we already have people who don't know how to manage it. They don't even manage it because of the way it used to be.
I agree, but I thought that's where they had put it as training. I thought research is more like,
Where what
Research is scientific.
yeah, more like
So
as our
research,
health
if
provider,
if I can just think from the back of my mind, this one can even have races, you know what I mean? We can even say, okay, races, can you take up that? Yeah. Okay, communications and public relations. What falls in there? Advocacy comes again. Actually, advocacy comes in there
like
again.
it's a repetition.
It's okay to repeat that miss out thing.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
okay to have this.
So
repetition.
let's go back to advocacy, meaning at the end of it, we are going to see who gets.
No, but again, also the public relations comes in the person who kind of tells you like what can you put out, like is this good for the organization, like is this story like they are kind of guiding you, because I think you need that kind of person because you think every information is okay to put out, but you have that person who kind of gives the image, who understands like what this organization is all about and what kind of image you should have towards.
So it's image, what building?
Hey, that's public relations.
It's public relations, so we leave it there. So let's leave it there.
Yeah, so it's like whatever you want to bring out to the public has to go through communication and public relations.
So fundraising and development.
Yes,
This one.
fundraising.
Fundraising, of course. And
Finance and fundraising.
Yeah, finance, because that's where we even get our financial people from, right? Bankings and all that, whatever. And then the working groups, patient support. Do we need the patient themselves to head the patient support group? I mean, we already have patient support groups.
Yes, in fact, that's where they can really work, where we know what, people are strong in, and instead of, this is where reinventing the wheel shouldn't even be. But to just make it clear, we can reinforce and say, who is good in here, who is good in here, what is so-and-so doing, so that at the end of the day, we can actually just align.
I think also for me as a person, let me not say as a person, as an adult with sickle cell, I truly feel there needs to be a separation of caregivers and people actually.
That's why I've just added caregivers there.
I think we need to
I've added that, yeah. I've added that because a caregiver, I've got my own,
yes,
different from you. Though we are intertwined,
yeah.
but just like the way we were talking about education and advocacy, I think also.
And caregiving, you remember what Bernadette was saying about the rural areas? It's so different from here and there. Remember, she was talking about even simple things. A caregiver can just, die with their child like this. There's nothing that you can do. And actually, why some of the things have been able to be done is because the caregiver probably is well placed and is fighting and is making things happen. Otherwise, all of us here, if we were not vigilant, probably even our babies wouldn't be here today.
And I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking when we put this in order, like we have our offices properly. At the beginning of the year, we are going to have a calendar for the year. We even know what's going to happen, what is Lukumuntambu's foundation doing, what is what. Like, we are having a lot of workshops.
Do you know that it's even not going to be like what Lukumuntambu is doing, what Zanseva is doing? It is just going to be so smooth.
It's going to be smooth.
Where, we are not talking about who is doing what. In fact, if we can do away with the names and just remain with the national work, we're going to do well.
Okay, so now
because they are going to be, it means
but
if you are busy,
going to be there
if you are going to be
hold the office according to
names. No, we are going to hold these names as per the person's name, not
person, organization.
Organization is going to cause them. This is what is, if I hear Cynthia properly, I think this is what. People would be saying, there's Zansava, I don't want to be here. There's this. I'm telling you, if you as Wimba, you've got something to offer, you do it as Wimba. I'm telling you.
I'm sure.
Isn't it?
Then what happens with our organizations? Because we've got our own visions as well.
No, but why do we want to duplicate?
I'm going to say, when I think of it, on second thoughts, I'm thinking we're slowly losing focus of what the umbrella is supposed to do. Because an umbrella is supposed to be more about coordination.
Yeah, coordination. So it's bringing the other organizations together.
I have one question. Does it do you have an association?
That's the one we want to make. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think we're now losing focus. Because from my understanding, it's about improving coordination and improving communication with the ministry. I think those are the two big things that came out.
Yes, Cynthia. Now, what we are trying to say is, Mrs. Mwasa is saying, we forget about our organization and we concentrate on this one. But we've got organizations, and we are not trying to say stop opening other organizations. They'll keep opening because they've got their own visions. But when they open, they still have to come to.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, if my vision, for example, what is your main vision?
Education and training.
So, if we've got education and training here,
here, education and
training. So why did you leave it?
Yes, that's why I'm saying.
Because if
but okay, me, I'm Wanza.
Yes.
But Lukumuntambu Foundation is me. Yes. So now Lukumuntambu Foundation, as an organization, has got their own, what's your vision, what's your objection, and objectives and all that. So me, when I'm not there, my assistants should still stand there because they know the objectives of Lukumuntambu. So it shouldn't be Wanza, it should be Lukumuntambu. That's what we are trying to say. Even Zanseva, if you bring Zanseva, what is the main goal with that Zanseva? Is it research and development? Let it be there. If you belong to Zanseva, you are the one who's going to be there. But if you are not there, so
somebody else
Zanseva can still take it. So let's not put my name, but let's put the organization. because that organization also should be in line. They shouldn't just come as an organization. Are you registered? Are you what? So they should have the right to run the organization.
You know that you are now overstepping and overreaching. And you are now have lost focus of what this is about. Because once you start doing that, it means you are dipping your fingers into what other organizations are doing. You're bringing in an element of control, and that's where you're going to start having conflict.
Okay, can you now explain?
I've said this umbrella. When I think of it now, all those things actually out. Your purpose is to coordinate amongst the NGOs. Your second thing is to communicate.
That's what we are
So
saying.
you
That's what I'm trying to say.
So you cannot say education or whatever, because that now you're duplicating the role of another organization.
Yes.
Those are supposed to carry on with their work. What they're supposed to do is come, you are coordinating, meaning you are just not even like oversight, but you are aware, you are connecting, or you are doing education. By the way, Mwanza also does education. Maybe you people can sit and
this one is the
discuss
one
and-
who's the leader in this.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly,
that's
but not this umbrella to be doing it.
That's
The umbrella is to link you, to provide you resources if they have, things like that.
so who's going to be the leader?
So your two main objectives of this,
So who's going to be the leader? Is it the organization or is it
the organizations, but this one, your role is it to coordinate.
Yes,
If me, I start tomorrow, I want information, I go there and say, I've recently registered, these are my areas of interest, thank you, let's take down your details,
but I'm
and let's
getting lost.
connect you to
So,
somebody.
okay, I get you. So, what are we saying? Who, if for example, we say, Cynthia, you are going to be under fundraising and development. Is it Foster? Is it Cynthia?
Okay, fundraising is not a good example because everyone needs money to operate, whether umbrella or whether the NGO. I'm saying at that level, we've said the members that will constitute the board will be representatives from the organizations. So Cynthia will sit there as FOSCA, representing FOSCA. But the purpose of me sitting there is just to improve my collaboration with everybody else who is working in the sickle cell.
So now
Maybe
you
who's
make
going
your
to
role
be-
independent. Like if you're sitting on this board,
You are
not really like if you're sitting
You
on
are
this board,
not
you are
Foster.
not for like
You are not Foster, you are the umbrella.
you are the umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you go to Foster, you are.
You are in Foster.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what
yes.
we are saying.
That is
That's what
it is.
we are
Yes.
saying. But the thing is, we get your strength as Foster. What's your strength? So if your strength is fundraising and development, we'll give it to you. But when you come for this umbrella, we are seeing Cynthia. We are not seeing Foster. But when you go as Foster, you are doing your work. You'll be doing education. You'll be doing training. You'll be doing what?
Do you
But
know
when you are
going
doing
to have
something,
do you know in reality, I'm telling you, in reality, you're going to have a problem because you cannot be oversight and an implementer at the same time. You are just there in an advisory role. You cannot be, I cannot be fundraising for the umbrella and I'm fundraising
for
for
myself.
It's a conflict already.
Okay. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking that the umbrella does the fundraising for all the organizations. And then all the
For
organizations-
activities.
For activities.
For activities.
Big activities.
Yes.
And then those activities are the ones that we are putting up as the calendar for the year. So for the year, I won't put my own calendar. We'll sit together and we'll say, this is what I think we should do for the year. Maybe I can have 2 activities, you 3, maybe 1, maybe 0. We put the activities for the year. Who's going to fundraise that? The one whom we've chosen to be the leader for that. And it doesn't mean that since you're trained in education, the next year, because we are going to change, maybe after 2 years or whatever, you won't hold that position. We'll change you. You'll go elsewhere, because as an organization, definitely you're not just doing this alone. You're doing everything else.
For me, I feel this model is too idealistic. Like, I really feel people have not worked with the difficult people. Because I'm telling you, funding is competitive by nature. You cannot work in an environment where you think there won't be competition. That is what you are there for, which is why we all work hard to shine. Because it's competitive by nature.
Yes, but
so if your fundraising there, sorry, Manza, your fundraising there is for your secretariat. Your fundraising there is not for everybody. People have to work hard to raise their own money, and you cannot expect the funding to be equal for everybody because it's competitive. It's normal. There's one NGO will be bigger than the other one.
Are we agreeing to this now?
I mean, I'm just saying that's how it is in reality.
No, that's true.
Unless,
so are we agreeing to remove it?
Which one? Only thing
the
you can
fundraising
do,
and because fundraising
you know what? The only thing you can do there, if you want to, is to just streamline communication. Because you see, the problem that we're having as Sickle Cell community, we are not yet getting long-term funding. So it's if we go to ShopRite, you leave. You go to Zambia Breweries, which is wrong. Our approach is wrong. You are supposed to go to Zambia Breweries once in a year.
Yes.
And say Zambia
and
Breweries,
sustainable.
this year we are asking you for 50,000. That 50,000 is for World Sickle Cell Day, what, everything. So that you're not going back and forth. The mistake, we are the ones making a mistake. But this just needs money to run the secretariat.
Okay.
Amongst ourselves, if we agree and say, this year we need to raise 500,000, how are we going to do it? Those details now we discuss as we meet, and then we can assign somebody to say, you go to this company, you go to this company.
And
so
also
under one name.
And the way you're
Yes,
saying,
exactly.
actually, I'm also thinking as you are going, I'm going as Zukumontambo, but I've got an endorsement from this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that we know what is going on.
Because she's got her own people that she relates with, and certain companies, they only want to deal with her. I also have maybe, so I go as me, but I'm endorsed by this. So that even
the problem with that approach and that model is why all of us don't have funding.
Yes.
Because you are not supposed to be as Lukumontambo, you go to ShopRite. Foster, you go to ShopRite.
So me as Zukumo, I come here, and then these are the ones that take.
Lukumontambo is not supposed to be thinking
I should
that
get money.
only private sector. Lukumontambo is supposed to be writing proposals so that you are given money for 5 years. If you are given money for 5 years, you're not even supposed to be going to Zambia Breweries and ShopRite and whatever. Okay, so what I'm saying is that automatically removes you. Meaning this body should be the only one that needs to do that because you have got your money from somewhere else. Which is what we are not doing. Because since we are not doing what we're supposed to do, we are going for the easy. Oh, let's run to ShopRite. Let's say. And remember, we are not the only ones. Right?
And ShopRite has got 1 million people to support.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to say. Well, apart from sickle cell, cultural, other health areas, sports, there's so much going on.
We've agreed
Are
on
you
that.
guys competing?
It's been competition because we don't have this. So now we are trying to make this. So when we make this, I don't think competition will be there.
Because even if, what we mean with this, even if I am not able to be part of the organizing committee, by the nature that I am part of it's done. I can show up anytime. I can, do this. Some of the things that I just, this is what I did. It just goes there, and they know how to share it among the,
and
people
like you decide like the big events like what's Sickle Cell Day. We agree it's only there. So no one else should be going to look for money.
Yes.
No, that's true. We've agreed on that one. Okay. So now, in other words, we've we've agreed on this one, this one, this one. How many are there? There are 5, and then the working groups. So these are 5, and then those are 4. So these 5 can hold also these positions, right? Are we agreeing to that?
So you see, a president can't hold a committee.
Can't hold time.
Even
the
treasurer
secretary
because because the president is actually when we have a meeting, that's the only time that she's presiding as chair to see what
Even
all
the
these people
treasurer has to
are
be
going.
independent to some
Yeah.
extent. They can't be holding a committee because they have to have oversight on everybody. I think those are the 2 I would say. This is what I'm talking about committee members anyway.
So this and this, a secretary can hold one of these. Vice president can hold.
The vice president can, secretary can.
Okay. So now we have 5 representatives here. So we've got Zanseva. We've got Lukumontambo. I'll just do that. We've got Rasis, Luimba Initiative Zambia, and Fosca. Okay. So maybe let's pick on this. Which one do you think can pick that? I think let's not choose like me, let me get that one. Maybe let's pick like
What are the strengths for in those
I think we
areas?
know now. I think we know. So let's try to now put that one can go, this one can get that. I think we know. I'm thinking Cynthia should go in the advocacy and policy. And advocacy. Yeah. So I think Cynthia should take this one. That's why I invited you to caregiving that you talk about advocacy. Remember that was so here, Cynthia. It's okay. It's okay, Cynthia. So you're there.
It's just part of noise.
Yeah.
Everything's so tired.
Who takes up this one?
What's that?
Education and
Policy.
Cynthia Fosca. Oh, sorry. We are getting these names. Yeah. So this one is Fosca. Who takes up education and awareness? I really want
Don't
to take
forget
up
to
that
put
one.
Luimba.
Luimba is here.
Okay.
I really want to take education and awareness.
should.
Are you agreeing?
Yeah.
Okay. Kuti balanda Mwanza. Oh, Mba Mwanza. Loving my name so much. Which is so.
I was going to say Luimba, but yeah.
Luimba, I'm thinking communication and public relations.
Yes.
Lukumon Tambo Foundation. Research and development. Rasis, are we agreeing?
Yeah.
Yes, Rasis.
We are being posed.
Mm-hmm. Communication, as we said, Luimba. Oh, Luimba is what? Yeah, she's still Luimba. Luimba, IZ. Patient supports. That was going to be Luimba.
Oh,
yeah, that was going to be Luimba. I think Luimba this one.
That Zibens and Sava has made more progress in that area.
In this one? Okay, then Zansava.
That would have made a lot of progress, even in different districts.
Okay, so we are done there. And then the working groups. How are we going to take the working groups?
But you know, where did we put training, and capacity building? Is under which one?
I think it should
education
be
and underwear.
Under education.
But what did you say?
Training.
Capacity building. It can also be here because you have to train.
So this one and this one working.
Yes.
They are working together, just like this one and this one.
Because that's one area where you can start teaching people about like this money things. You know, make people aware that you cannot just.
Yeah, first you actually open their mind that they can do it. They are enough because you know, and even in the community, people think that sickle cell you've got a death penalty on your head. Why is it a problem when a 5-year-old die? A normal 5-year-old dies, they're always dying. Why is it a problem when a sickle cell child dies at 5 years?
You know what? I think it also goes to education.
Yes.
And that's why I'm proud to say for 6 years I've been doing trainings, workshops, and I don't do it myself. We get the doctor, we get professionals, we get a mental health person, we get nutritionist, sometimes we get business person. Mrs. Musa, I don't know.
And all these things
Yeah.
we have discovered when we're doing these trainings ourselves for people. Everyone has got a mindset change issue.
Mm-hmm. So it also goes there. That's why, remember, I wanted you to come and speak.
Yes.
But because Dr. Chunda involved her, she was telling me just streamline the speakers, so I ended up just speaking her and Dr. Chunda herself. Yeah. Otherwise, it goes in the education and training.
Because we've got such a bad
Yeah.
mindset. We're
Yeah.
so negative about the things that are supposed to be there.
Yeah.
When people, it's just a condition which you can actually manage when you pay attention to it.
But I think a lot of it is also to do with the same running of these same groups. A lot of people jump in and say, I want to, but they don't really know.
And that's why they jump out and in and out. Every time they're jumping in and out.
Play a really big role in that. Because I really feel like sometimes if you educate people on certain things, even some of these specific problems should reduce. Even how to communicate to the Ministry of Health. I think some people don't know how, and that you only write to place or what they. I don't think people.
So Cynthia, Luimba is the one we've put here. But you who's got knowledge on certain things that you've been seeing, you can actually advise her. You can also say.
Because what is good about this is whatever is happening,
you can still
everybody knows what it is that it is. You have meetings and then you decide.
Yeah. For me, I feel the benefit of this should be more to the organizations than just the general.
Yeah.
It's general public can be there, but it's I think more those who want to be so involved needs capacity building.
Okay. So the working groups for now, maybe let's not take time. We will do it in the next.
Yeah.
I think for now, let's just say this is what we've discussed. And then we need to put the minutes, and then where are the minutes going? To the task force. Dr. Chu, yeah.
What do they need them?
They don't. So it's just us.
I know, right? I know.
So that they can take us to Ministry of Health.
Like our first meeting, this is what we discussed and blah blah blah.
But do you know that this is supposed to go to MOH? So how are we going to take it to MOH? That's what.
No, I think you need to provide them with like a constitution.
The task force?
Yes, like
and then have
constitution rather than the minutes, the nitty-gritties. Even a draft constitution, and this is a structure that we're proposing.
Yes.
And
now
that's what she said.
We'll suffer.
Yes. She said that you put up a case.
Yes.
Business case.
Business case.
Why you want to set up this? And that's where you attach
the minutes.
But we've had our first meeting and this is our,
So whom are we giving that work? Samba? You help her?
No.
You can do a draft since you are the owners. Then Santa will look at it and confirm that yes, or Masha 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Yes.
So the draft will do it on the part group. Okay, we are on the same group. So maybe we can drop the draft there and then. Cynthia, you can do that. You drop you do the draft and then we look at it on the group.
AI.
Yes,
I'm very honest. I'm using a calculator.
Yeah. So and then you send it to the group. When can you send it? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm seeing my milestone there. I've been summoned for a cup of tea because we have not seen each other in a while. So,
So when can you do it? Okay, maybe I
by
can.
Monday or so.
Okay.
Could I be able to see it?
Monday,
Monday,
but maybe I can do it tomorrow. Let me do it tomorrow. Then you move on some
Tomorrow, honestly, I'll be like, I can't see my email send it through.
No, I'll do it and then
You do
and
it
then
immediately
everyone
after
else,
this meeting has
yes.
ended. Then you
When
can
the
do it.
mind
Then
is
we can
fresh.
be able to see it and.
Or just grabbing his points, but drafting the document is not difficult.
Well, that's what you're doing in the offices.
It's not difficult. Yeah, I've already got a template actually. All I need to change is that.
When is the next meeting? Are we going to say it now or we say it in the group?
What is today?
Today,
When you're forming something,
it has to be
now that we've gotten the gist of the matter, then we can follow up with an online meeting.
so we can have the meeting.
But here you are
after
free as long as you don't have a class. You can always come and because even after this, we need to workshop it properly with all involved. We workshop. This is what we want. We need support from this and blah 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 blah. Then it
Okay,
becomes.
I'm also thinking. Okay, let's do we do maybe follow-up meeting is what we need. Follow-up meeting can be online, right? Can be online. We can do it within 10 days. It should actually have been like very soon, like even 7 days, but we've got the works because they're coming. That one takes a lot of our energy. So can we say 10 days?
So days next week. It's the funeral. But it's still funeral.
Yeah.
When is the funeral happening?
Yeah.
This
People
funeral
are
one
making
thing.
conditions just like before.
They want money. So follow-up meeting in maybe within 10 days.
Well, let's see the calendar.
Yeah, I was going to propose it. Let's just
Sorry,
say.
I've got a don't get witness thing.
Okay.
So I was trying to Google, I was trying to use AI to look at the structure for a council, right? It's a bit different. It's similar but a bit different from this one. So it's made up, okay,
So
so
today is
we've got the
12.
national ambassador as the whatever, like the national ambassador or let's go through it. That we
National ambassador could be this one here.
could be the yes. And then there is
Better
the
than
board of-
president. President is a big name.
Yes, national ambassador is good. National Sickle Cell-
So yeah, so number one, national patron or national ambassador.
Patron.
No, national ambassador.
National ambassador.
Okay.
Sickle Cell.
So a respected national figure, first lady, minister, whatever, prominent visibility advocacy at the highest level. Then you have got the board of trustees, which is made up of made up of 5 people. Medical doctor, legal advisor, finance, expertise, high-level representative from the ministry, representative from a person living in sickle cell, or religious community leader. Then the executive leadership team, which has chairperson, vice chairperson, which looked more like that. Okay. Then the executive secretary / CEO. Then you have 4 directors or departments. That's why the medical and scientific affairs come in, advocacy and public engagement, program and partnership, finance and administration. We remove the finance. Or remove that.
But finance is a very big thing.
It's very big.
Big. That's why actually the fundraising and all.
That is the that's where sustainability is.
Yes, and then even finance part again.
That's the treasurer.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I think let's leave it to them.
Okay, monitoring.
Okay, maybe instead of treasurer, we can call them sustainability.
Yeah, starting as group of volunteers.
Yeah, so that one, I think let's leave it there. I think the only thing is national ambassador that we put.
Yes.
And the vice.
So, but this one also has chairperson and vice chairperson.
We don't need that for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's similar. Then you have the regional provincial coordinators, which we talked about earlier, and then advisory group committee or working groups, which we have the secretary. That's
So I think let's leave it there. And then we said follow-up meeting online. Which date?
24th. Oh, is it a good day? It's a Monday. Maybe Monday's not a good day.
Maybe Tuesday.
Monday is actually my best days.
24th.
Then for me,
24th is
day of
not-
the week is fine.
The 24th
Oh, sorry,
it's
24th
Tuesday.
is a Tuesday.
So we go for 24th.
No.
It's a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Mondays are good actually.
From
Monday,
work.
Monday, yes.
People that work.
I don't work. But doesn't work.
Oh, so Monday is okay. So 23rd.
Christmas Sunday available.
This one wage is.
Oh, therefore, it's during the day.
Oh, if it's in the evening, that's fine.
It's evening.
Evening.
It's online.
Okay,
Let's have them. in the evening.
23rd June follow-up meeting. Next meeting, and then we need the draft. The draft of the what?
Draft,
Constitution.
do you already have one?
It's already there. Already got one.
Okay.
Just need to edit those.
Okay. Edit and add the structure.
Who's doing it? Is it me or Cynthia? Cynthia, you're doing it?
You can decide. I said I can have it, but Monday. So tomorrow I can't.
Okay, let's just put Cynthia. We'll wait for Monday.
But I already got a draft constitution.
Maybe me, I have
template.
I also have it ready.
So work
Then
together.
okay.
Work together.
I'll do it and then yeah.
Yes. Then you can send for all of us to have a look.
But the thing is, if I send, everyone else will see because I can work on it tomorrow and I post it. I can post it tomorrow on the group. Then when I post it on final, everyone else can
Add whatever it is.
add or subtract and then.
No, what I mean is
Monday should be final.
what has it? What do you have? What does Cynthia have? Then put it together.
Let's just do Monday should be fine.
Yeah.
For me,
For
I'll
meantime,
say
in the
tomorrow.
background, no, in the background, because we don't want to be working in two documents. We want you and Mwanza and Cynthia's documents to be in one. Then you send that so that you can just put it there and you see
Cynthia,
what.
can you say you send it on Monday? Me, I'll send it to you tomorrow. Then you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, so that she already measures what is common and
Yes.
so we work
Because
from one
putting
document.
on the group again, and then
Are you at the
won't
gate?
finish.
Okay.
Dr. Rasis. And then what else are we doing? That's all right. Mrs. Maza,
Okay.
Twakwisha, that
For me, I think it's just really a note to the week, not even at the minutes, just a note, like a page, just segment on this
For the-
structure and attach the draft constitution for your.
So after the follow-up meeting, that's when we are going to know about the note and everything. That's your thing.
Yeah, but we can draft that, it's on the page.
Yeah.
Just
So
a note, really.
let me get that for you because you need. I want you to.
What is,
I want you to take that.
what else is there?
There's the follow-up meeting.
All those.
Is the light okay?
It is.
If you're looking to start putting on proposals now.
Okay, so I think we are done. Thank
We
you
are
very
done.
much. And you will just be able to. Yes. I'm still here. I'm still at home. Just come. Yeah, so thank you very much for these contributions. I'm sure we are going to have a good time.
I just feel also shouldn't do too much, try to do too much work, eh? be achievable, something.
Yeah,
You know, you can see
it's
your
work, but
results
it's
quickly.
yes.
And then maybe.
So I'm
you
going to stop
understand it.
this, and all the discussions will be.
Yeah.
You just click on the link,
You know, when
and
you
you should
achieve
be
the
able
first
to.
thing, what's the next? So that just
Yeah.
keep on, rather than trying to make it so big and then it becomes difficult.
Where's my brother?
Suppose
Maybe it's on the other gate.
supposed to come and join us actually.
Let them open both gates.
We were told he was coming here.
Where's my brother? Mommy.
Huh? He's listening. He's working.